Holy Are you kidding me? Okay, I'll admit that intro was a little bit overly dramatic and staged, but to be completely honest, it actually fairly accurately represents the reaction I had when I tested these Mobvoi Earbuds ANC Black. This is the new version of the ANC earbuds from Mobvoi, and it replaces what they used to call the ANC Ice. They're still selling that model, but this one has a few tricks up its sleeve, which I think are pretty cool. And Mobvoi did provide these as a review unit for me to review, so I want to make sure you're aware of that up front. But I will also say I did a video on the TicPods 2 Pro Plus, I don't know, 6-8 months ago, something like that. And I did buy these with my own money, and they were significantly more expensive at the time than these were, or than this wasn't available, than the predecessor to this was. But I did buy this with my own money, as I did with the TicWatch E3 that I'm wearing. And so I will admit up front, I'm a bit of a Mobvoi fan because they make very good stuff. And the video that I did on this, I'll put a link up there if I haven't already done that. But if you want to check that out, feel free to do so. But this thing absolutely destroyed the Apple Airpods Gen 2. Now, since then, they've come out with the Apple Airpods Gen 3. Now, this is my daughter's set of headphones since she uses an iPhone exclusively. I use an Android almost exclusively. I have an iPhone for work. So I did borrow these from her and paired them to my iPhone so I could get a nice cross comparison, and we'll talk a little bit about what I found about that. But I was very impressed with these TicPods 2 Pro Pluses. It really kind of blew me away. So then they sent me these earbuds ANC Black that not only include active noise canceling, which neither of these do. These also have a couple of other tricks up its sleeve. Up their sleeve, whatever. Let's go ahead and open the box so you can see what you get if you happen to buy these things. They're very nicely packaged and bundled in there. I've already taken the shrink wrap off, so I can't give you that ASMR sound. Sorry about that, but I did have to test these. I've had these for about a month, actually. So you get the case itself, and then you pull the foam out, and inside this box is a little kit that's got your USB cable. And something that the AirPods don't do is they've got some extra silicone tips. So these earpieces, and I'll put actually a picture up here to show you what the differences in size and sort of form factor. And you can see that the AirPods there on the right-hand side, they're a little more diminutive. They're a little bit smaller. The stem on there is about only maybe 2/3 the size of the stem that's on the Mobvoi earbuds. You'll notice there are silicone tips on the earbuds ANC. And they are not tips on the end of the AirPods. So you get a little set of small, medium, and large little silicone pads so you can customize the fit. And that's something you can't do with the fixed hard plastic tips on either the TicPods 2 Pro Pluses or the AirPods. They just fit how they fit. And some people, they don't fit very well. They feel like they're going to fall out. For me, they fit okay. I did feel like they were a little bit loose, that if I were doing something vigorous, they might fall out. I don't get the same feeling with the Mobvoi ANC Blacks, but I kind of jumped ahead here. So let me just kind of go back and look what's in the box. So you get some Mobvoi stickers. Who doesn't like stickers? And you get a nicely well-written manual here with all of the functionality, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the functionality here. And you get a little Type-C cable to accommodate the Type-C connector that's on the bottom side of the ANC Black case. Now, as far as I'm aware, these only come in black. I don't think this particular model comes in white. I could be wrong about that, but they retail right now. These are selling for just under $60, so $59.99. The TicPods 2 Pro Pluses, they still sell. Now, I paid somewhere around $120, $115 or $20 for this particular model. Right now they're running a sale on these. I think the regular price is $139 and the sale price is like $56. So that's actually a fantastic deal as well. If you prefer the non-silicone tip style, this is a fantastic choice because these things are feature packed, as are the ANC Black. But let's talk about some of the features actually. So with the ANC Black, you get things like obviously active noise canceling. So there are multiple modes here. You can long press on either ear if you're wearing both earbuds, and you can wear them independently if you just want to wear one for phone calls. But to switch between the noise canceling modes, you long press and it'll just cycle through the 3 modes. So one is quiet mode on, that's full noise canceling. Now it's not going to be the noise canceling you're going to get with a much higher end over the ear headphones, like something like say the Sony XM4s that are over the ears. I just got a pair of those and those are excellent too. But those, those really heat you up after a while. For me at least, they make my ears kind of hot when I'm wearing them for extended periods of time. So I don't really like to wear them for long periods of time. But from a noise canceling standpoint, it's really hard to beat something like that because they cover your entire ear. What these do is cut down on the ambient noise by a good, 50 to 70%, I would say. So you can still hear ambient noise just a little bit in the background when you have quiet mode on. Now the next mode, if you long press it again, you'll get what they call pass-through mode. And it allows ambient sound in. Pass-through sound is really nice because if you have somebody who's trying to have a conversation with you and you don't want to take your earbuds out because you just got them fit in, you can do that. So you can just long press on that and you get into the pass-through mode that allows you to have a conversation. So it kind of amplifies outside noise. So if you need to be aware of your surroundings, if you need to be aware when people are speaking to you, that's a really handy mode. And if you don't, you can go to quiet mode and kind of get rid of all that ambient noise or the vast majority of it anyway. And I really like that because if you got fans going on in the background or car noise, or if you ride the bus, if you're commuting, things like that, active noise canceling is something that you really have to try to believe. It really does make a tremendous difference in the quality of your listening experience, especially if you're in a noisy area. The other thing that these have, by the way, is they have something called environmental noise canceling. So it's an extra microphone, so when you're using them for phone calls, so if you happen to be standing on the corner waiting on a ride, and you got a lot of street noise, these will do a very good job of helping reduce all that background ambient noise so the person you're talking to can hear you. So that's a big advantage of these. On a battery life, standpoint, you can get, Mobvoi says you can get up to 7 hours with these. I have not actually tried to push it that far. I suspect to get 7 hours, you would have to be listening at a fairly low volume and have active noise canceling off. With noise canceling on, you're going to get more like 4.5 hours. And with the other modes, so your average listening time might be something like 5.5 hours or something like that. And you can get over 21 hours if you recharge them regularly in the case. 21 hours is a lot of time. I usually keep this thing topped off at least once a week that I've had them. I've had them for about a month, as I said. So I usually just make sure I plug this in at least once a week, and it doesn't take but an hour to make sure it's topped off. If it's all the way down, maybe an hour and a half tops. Let's take a real quick look and see how these things are paired. It's pretty straightforward. All right, so the first thing you do is you basically go into your Android Bluetooth app and you get it scanning, and then you open the lid of your ANC headphones and they should appear in the bottom list somewhere. Yeah, click on the Mobvoi Earbuds ANC, not the LE. And that'll initiate pairing. Acknowledge the pairing. All right, so now they show up in my list as paired headphones. So we are going to jump out of that. And we're going to go into the Smart Life app, and we're going to click on Device at the bottom of the screen next to Home, and we have to add them to the list. So we're going to click the plus sign at the top. It's a little tricky to get to, and then we're going to say Mobvoi Earbuds ANC. That's just basically telling me that if I hadn't already paired them with Bluetooth, that's how I would do it. So say Next Step, and paired successfully. So now we can go ahead to next step and look at the app. Now the app doesn't have a lot in it. As you can see, I've got my battery status at the top. I can invoke a headset so that you can use a Hey Tico command when you're wearing the headsets, and it will launch your either Siri if you're using iOS, or it'll launch the Google Assistant. Hey Tico, what's the weather today? You can turn that on or off. Quick password, that's basically if you turn these on or off, these are your, not really passwords. Quick commands, I think, is what that really should read. That's what it reads at the top. And those are your 6 commands: next song, play music, pause music, previous song, volume up and volume down. That's really all there is to this app. If you ever needed to understand what some of the, the touch controls are, this kind of explains it here on the bottom screen. You can kind of page through those and see how to interact with the touch controls. Now the TicPods do have something called Tickle Touch. They do voice commands as well, but you can actually adjust the volume by swiping up and down on the stem of the earbuds. That's a cool feature of this particular model. The AirPods also have touch controls, so you can like pinch them to pause and start your music and answer phone calls and things like that. You can't really adjust volume from here. And another key feature I would say too is that for some reason AirPods don't give you the capability to adjust the EQ. You can customize the EQ on the Mobvoi headphones by simply using the Android app and going in and adjusting the EQ. Now I will say, when you take them out of the box, they sound pretty good, but once you set the EQ for your own listening preferences, and mine are probably different than yours, so when I dial that in, man, I was just absolutely blown away by how clean the sound is across the entire frequency spectrum. I mean, basses are nice and punchy. They are not muddy at all. The mid-tones, the middle frequencies are actually really well represented, and so the vocals really pop. And you can hear all that high-end detail, the cymbals and the ghost notes on the snare, all the stuff as a musician that I really appreciate being able to hear. And once I dialed that in on the equalizer, man, these things just absolutely sounded phenomenal. And when you consider that these things cost just under $60, and that something like the AirPods, which I will say, these held their own in sound quality as compared to the ANCs, but these things don't have active noise canceling, and they cost $170. So you can buy 2.5 of these for the cost of 1 of these. So if you're an Apple user and you like everything Apple, you know, this is a good choice. But if you'd like to have noise canceling and you don't want to spend $170 for your earbuds, you should really look at something like this Mobvoi Earbuds ANC Black. These things really are top-notch sound quality. And really, at the end of the day, for me, that's the most important thing to me. How do they actually sound? I do like the other features. I love the ANC, and I love the ability to do pass-through. Those are all fantastic. The voice commands, I think, are cool. I probably don't use them all that often personally. You might find that they're much more useful for you. But the most important thing is how do they sound, and they sound fantastic. So I've really got no complaints about these from a sound quality standpoint. Couple other things. These are IPX5 water resistant. The AirPods are IPX4. Not a big difference there. Really, the difference between IPX4 and 5 is that 4 is, they basically say, a gentle splash. They're resistant to a gentle splash, or if you're wearing them in the rain or at the gym. IPX5 is basically a small jet of water. They're resistant to actually directional jets of water. So these are slightly more weather resistant or water resistant than the Gen 3 AirPods. And from a custom fit standpoint, this is kind of a biggie, and this is a very personal, subjective thing. Some people don't like the silicone tips, and if you are one of those people and you've tried in the past, you don't like silicone tips, and you've tried different sizes and they just don't work for you on your earbuds, then this maybe isn't the product for you. Maybe you want something that's more like the Apple or something like the TicPods, because as I mentioned, these are feature packed as well, and the ability to swipe up and down to change volume I think is really handy, and they sound fantastic just like the ANCs do. So at under $60, I mean, it's really kind of a no-brainer. And then if you want the silicone tips and you really want ANC or active noise canceling, man, this is just really a no-brainer. So the only other difference I can think of, in case you're researching these, is none of these Mobvoi earbuds give you the option to use Qi charging. So you have to hook up a Type-C cable, which, you know, big deal. Now the Apple AirPods do give you the option to use Qi charging if you have a Qi charger. So that's something that they do that the other ones don't. Is that worth an extra $110? You be the judge. It's not for me, but you know, you make that call. So the bottom line on these really is outstanding build quality, outstanding sound quality, especially at this price point. That's the thing I can't get over if I seem overly enthusiastic. It's not because Mobvoi sent me this pair of headphones. I've got plenty of headphones. I don't really need another pair of headphones. So this is my honest opinion of these headphones. So anyway, that's about all I got for you. These are a really good deal. I think you should check them out. But anyway, I'll put all the information in the description below if you want to see what's what. So anyway, thanks for hanging with me to the end, if in fact you did. Appreciate you joining me. Give me a thumbs up if you found any of this information useful. And that's all I got for you. Hope to see you in the next one. Until then, have fun out there.